Have you ever wondered if that old coin in your pocket or collection could be worth a fortune? Some rare coins have sold for millions of dollars, making them some of the most valuable collectibles in the world. In this video, we'll explore the most valuable coins and what makes them worth so much. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss this. First up, the 1927 D Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny. We'll explore what makes this penny special, the significance of the D mint mark, what good condition means in coin grading, and of course its current value in the collector's market. Let's get started. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, Lincoln himself. The reverse design, with two stalks of wheat on either side, gives these pennies their nickname, wheat pennies. Our focus today, the 1927 D penny, was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d below the date. The Denver Mint played a vital role in coin production during this era, striking millions of pennies each year. Now, what does good condition mean? In coin collecting, a good grade means the coin is heavily worn, but the date and major details remain visible. For the 1927 D penny, this means you can still clearly see Lincoln's profile and the wheat stalks, even if finer details are worn. Smooth coins in good condition have often seen significant circulation, but they're still collectible, especially when it comes to older pennies like this one from 1927. So, what is the market value of a 1927 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition today? Typically, these coins sell between 50 cents and $1.50. The exact price depends on factors like wear, overall eye appeal, and collector demand. For comparison, pennies in better conditions like fine or very fine can sell for several dollars. Those in uncirculated condition, which are extremely rare for this date, can fetch much higher prices, sometimes $300 or more. The 1920s were a booming decade for the U.S. economy, and the Denver Mint was busy producing coins to keep up with the demand. The 1927 D Wheat Penny is a small piece of that history, representing everyday commerce from nearly a century ago. If you're lucky enough to own a 1927 D penny, taking care of it is important. Avoid cleaning the coin harshly, store it in a dry place, and consider professional grading if you think your coin might be in better condition than you realize. In summary, the 1927-D Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny in good condition is a modestly valuable piece of American numismatic history, generally worth between 50 cents and $1.50 today. Whether you're a beginner collector or just curious about old pennies, this coin is a great example to have in your collection. Next up, the 2000 Virginia Statehood Quarter. This coin has something unique, a red color shade, and we're going to explore how much it's worth today, especially with the P mint mark and in fine condition. Stay tuned because the value might surprise you. The 2000 Virginia Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program released by the U.S. Mint to honor each of the 50 states in the order they joined the Union. Virginia, the 10th state, was honored with a beautiful quarter that commemorates its key role in U.S. history, including its pivotal position in the founding of the nation. Virginia became the 10th state to join the Union in 1788, and the coin's design reflects that rich history. On the reverse side of the quarter, you'll see a design featuring a statue of George Washington, along with the state's famous outline. The design beautifully captures Virginia's historical importance as the birthplace of so many founding fathers and a major player in the Revolutionary War. And the P mint mark means it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. This particular coin, however, is special because it has a noticeable red color shade, a feature not commonly seen in most circulating coins. But how does that affect its value? Let's take a closer look. Now, you might be wondering what's up with this red color shade. Generally, quarters are silver-colored, but due to certain environmental factors, some coins can develop a reddish or copper-toned tint. This can happen due to exposure to certain chemicals, moisture, or metals that cause oxidation or toning over time. Sometimes this toning can make a coin stand out, but it's important to note that the red color shade isn't necessarily something that was intentionally added by the mint. It's just a result of the coin's interaction with the environment. And while red-tinted coins can catch a collector's eye, it doesn't always mean the coin is worth significantly more. However, it can make the coin more visually unique and appealing to certain buyers. Next, let's break down what fine condition means when it comes to coin grading. In the world of numismatics, the condition of a coin is key to determining its value. A coin in fine condition has some wear from circulation, but most of the design elements remain visible. On the 2000 Virginia quarter, the details of George Washington and the state outline should still be sharp, but the coin may show signs of handling like light scratches or slight fading. It's not as pristine as an uncirculated coin, but it's still in fairly good shape. So, let's get to the big question. How much is the 2000 Virginia quarter worth today with the P mint mark? In fine condition and that eye-catching red color shade. The value is influenced by several factors, but here's a general breakdown. For a 2000 Virginia quarter in fine condition with P mint mark, you can expect to see a value anywhere between $700 and $900. This value is based on the fact that it's a commemorative coin, and fine condition always commands a bit more than a coin that's heavily worn or damaged. However, with the red color shade, the coin might fetch a slightly higher price. Toned coins with unusual hues like a red or copper tint can be more attractive to certain collectors, especially those who appreciate unique or aesthetically interesting examples. In some cases, the red color can increase the coin's value, especially if it's a striking shade. But, in most cases, this won't make a huge jump in price. Now, let's talk a bit about toning and how it can affect the value of a coin. While some collectors love toned coins for their unique appearance, toning can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, toning can give a coin a beautiful, aged look that adds character, but on the other hand, it can also detract from the coin's overall appeal if it's uneven or unattractive. For example, a red-toned coin that has an even bright color can look quite stunning, and some collectors might pay a premium for it. But if the toning is too dark, or if it looks unnatural, it can actually lower the coin's value. So, the type and quality of toning is important when evaluating a coin's worth. Now, you might be thinking, should I clean this coin to make it look nicer? Well, the general rule in the coin collecting world is no, don't clean it. Cleaning a coin can strip away its natural patina, damage the surface, and decrease its value. In fact, most coin experts will tell you that cleaning can do more harm than good. So, should you hold on to your 2000 Virginia quarter with the red color shade, or should you sell it? If you're a collector, it might be worth hanging on to it as a unique piece in your collection. It's part of the America the Beautiful series, and the red toning adds an interesting visual element that could be valuable to the right buyer. Next up, today, we're taking a closer look at the 1952 D Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. We'll talk about what makes this penny special, the meaning of the D mint mark, what fine condition means, and most importantly, its current value in today's market. Let's get started. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. This series continued until 1958 and is beloved by collectors for its classic design, Lincoln's profile on the front, and two stalks of wheat on the back. The 1952 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark just below the date. The Denver Mint has a long history of producing some of the most sought-after coins, and the 1952 D penny is no exception. Now, what does fine condition mean? In coin grading terms, fine describes a coin with moderate wear, but still retains most of its major details. For the 1952 D penny, you can expect to see clear outlines of Lincoln's hair and beard, along with visible details in the wheat stalks on the back, although the coin will show signs of circulation. Coins in fine condition have usually been in circulation but are well preserved, making them attractive to collectors who want a balance between condition and affordability. So, what is the current value of a 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny in fine condition? On today's market, these coins typically sell for anywhere between 50 cents and $2. The exact price depends on factors like the coin's overall eye appeal and how well the details have been preserved. For some perspective, pennies in lower grades such as good might sell for around 20 to 40 cents, while those in higher grades like very fine or extremely fine can fetch between $300 and $500. uncirculated coins from 1952-D are rare and can command even higher prices. The 1950s were a post-war era of growth and prosperity in the United States. The Denver Mint was actively producing millions of pennies each year to meet the needs of a growing economy. The 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat penny is a small but important piece of that history. If you have a 1952 D penny or other wheat pennies, remember that proper care is essential for maintaining their value. Avoid cleaning your coins aggressively, store them in a cool, dry place, and consider getting valuable coins professionally graded. To wrap it up, the 1952 D. Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny, in fine condition, is a collectible coin that typically holds a value between 50 cents and $2 today. It's a great piece for both beginner and intermediate collectors looking to add a bit of history to their collection. Next up, the 1999 Delaware Statehood Quarter, featuring the year 1787 and the famous D mint mark. But here's the catch: it's in dirty condition. You may think dirt can make a coin worthless, but stick around, because I'm going to show you how it can still be worth something today. Released in 1999 as part of the 50 State Quarters program, the Delaware Quarter was the first in the series, and it commemorates Delaware's entry into the Union in 1787. But today, we're going to talk about the coin that's seen somewhere. Maybe it's been tossed around in a drawer, or perhaps it's still in your change jar, a little dirtier than you'd like. So first, let's go over the history behind this coin. Delaware was the first state to ratify the U.S. Constitution in 1787, which is why that year is prominently featured on the coin. The design itself features a picture of Caesar Rodney, a Delaware signer of the Declaration of Independence, riding horseback to Philadelphia to cast his vote in favor of independence. A really powerful image of Delaware's role in early American history. Now, when we say this coin is in dirty condition, what exactly do we mean? Well, a dirty coin is one that has visible grime, tarnish, or even sticky residues from being exposed to the elements. This coin isn't in pristine condition, but it's also not completely damaged. Dirt, tarnish, or corrosion can obscure the finer details of the coin, making it less desirable to collectors. In this case, we're not talking about a coin that's in mint condition. We're talking about one that might look like it's been through the ringer, with some visible wear and tear. All right, now let's talk about the big question. How much is a 1999 Delaware quarter with D mint mark worth today, in dirty condition? As you can imagine, dirt and grime usually don't add to a coin's value. But even in this condition, the 1999 Delaware quarter still holds some value above its face value. Typically, if you have a 1999 Delaware quarter in dirty condition, its value can range anywhere from $400 to $500. While that's not much compared to a clean, high-grade example, it's still a nice little bump over the typical 25 cents. And that's because of the coin's place in history. It's the very first release in the entire 50 State Quarter series, and some collectors may still have an interest in acquiring it. But here's the thing. Coins with more visible wear and tear, or those that are less desirable due to their dirty state, will typically be on the lower end of that range. Coins that are cleaned up, or that have been kept in better condition, will go for a bit more, around $800. Now, a lot of the coin's value will also depend on other factors. A coin in dirty condition, especially one that's not well preserved, is usually less attractive to serious collectors. However, the 1999 Delaware quarter's value can be impacted by rarity, demand, and the collector's interest in owning a specific part of the State Quarter series. If a coin is heavily tarnished or scratched, it will likely be worth less. But if it's just a little dirty and can still show key details like Caesar Rodney's figure, the mint mark, and the year 1787, it could fetch slightly more. Well, cleaning coins is a touchy subject in the numismatic world. Many collectors and experts strongly recommend not cleaning your coins because cleaning can decrease their value. It's better to leave the dirt and grime as is. Cleaning can scratch the surface and damage the coin's finish, and that can result in it being worth far less. In fact, some dealers won't even buy cleaned coins. If you're just looking to display it in your collection, leave the coin as it is. But if you're trying to get the best possible value, you may want to consider having the coin properly graded by a professional service like NGC or PCGS. They can provide you with a formal assessment of the coin's condition, which could give you a clearer idea of its market value. Next up, today, we're focusing on the 1950 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, specifically the version without mint mark, minted at the Philadelphia Mint. We'll explore what makes this penny special, explain what extra fine condition means, and reveal its value in today's market. Let's dive in. The Lincoln Wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and became a favorite among collectors for its classic design, Lincoln's profile on the front, and two wheat stalks framing the reverse. In 1950, pennies without a mint mark were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which was the original and largest U.S. mint facility. Unlike the Denver or San Francisco mints, Philadelphia pennies typically don't have mint mark now. Let's talk about grading. The term extra fine refers to a coin that has only light wear on the highest points but retains nearly all the original detail. For a 1950 penny in extra fine condition, you'll still see sharp lines in Lincoln's hair and beard, and the wheat stalks on the reverse remain crisp with minor wear. Extra fine coins are highly sought after because they strike a perfect balance between wear and detail. They're not mint condition, but they're well preserved and pleasing to the eye. So what is the value of a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition? On the current market, these coins typically sell between $2 and $7. The exact price depends on the coin's eye appeal, luster, and overall quality. For comparison, coins graded as fine or very fine might be worth around 50 cents to $2, while uncirculated examples can command prices upwards of $200 or more. The Philadelphia Mint has been a cornerstone of American coin production since 1792. By 1950, the U.S. economy was booming post-World War II, and the Mint was producing pennies in massive quantities to meet everyday needs. If you own a 1950 penny or any wheat penny, keeping it in excellent condition is key to maintaining its value. A 2005 California statehood quarter with the D mint mark in fine condition. We're going to talk about what makes it valuable today, its history, and what it's worth in the current market. So let's dive right in. The 2005 California quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program, which was released by the U.S. Mint to honor each of the 50 states in the order they joined the Union. California, the Golden State, was the 31st state to join the U.S. in 1850, and to celebrate that milestone, the quarter was issued with a design reflecting its rich history and natural beauty. Now, let's talk about the history behind this coin. California's statehood was officially recognized in 1850, right in the midst of the California Gold Rush. The quarter's design features John Muir, one of California's most famous environmentalists, with a California condor soaring through the sky. The state outline with a star marks Sacramento, California's capital. It's a beautiful representation of what makes California so unique. So, what's all the fuss about the D mint mark? If you're not familiar with mint marks, they tell you where the coin was made. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which is one of the U.S. Mint's primary facilities. In the 2005 California Quarter Series, coins were struck at both the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, D, as well as the San Francisco Mint, S, for proof coins. But here's the thing, while millions of these quarters were produced, the D mint mark version of the 2005 California quarter is one that collectors often look for due to its slight rarity compared to the Philadelphia version. Coins from the Denver Mint tend to be in a higher demand for collectors, particularly if they're in fine condition or better. Now, you might be wondering, what does fine condition really mean when it comes to a coin? In the world of numismatics, coin condition is everything. A coin in fine condition isn't flawless, but it still has enough detail for collectors to see key features clearly. For a 2005 California quarter in fine condition, the design elements like John Muir and the condor should be easily visible, though some wear may have taken place due to circulation. Fine coins may show some minor scratches or tarnishing, but they're still considered in good shape and well above the basic circulated coins you may find in your pocket change. So, here comes the most exciting part. How much is a 2005 California quarter with the D mint mark in fine condition worth today? Well, the value depends on a few factors, but if you're looking at a standard coin in fine condition, you're probably looking at a value between $20 to $50. Now, you might think that's not much compared to the quarter's face value, but here's why it's still a solid find for collectors. Remember, the 50-state quarters program was incredibly popular when it was released, and as time goes on, certain coins in that series like the 2005 California quarter become more desirable to collectors. The D-Mint mark version, especially in fine condition, has become a favorite among enthusiasts because it represents both California's significant history and a piece of a popular coin series. Even though millions of these quarters were minted, certain conditions like fine or better can make them worth more than the average circulated coin. The scarcity of high-quality examples, especially those that have been well-preserved, is what drives demand. For example, in auction settings or coin dealer shops, collectors might be willing to pay more for one that's in better condition than others they can find. And let's not forget about the potential for error coins or rare varieties. Sometimes minting mistakes happen, and if you've got a coin that was struck incorrectly or has some sort of noticeable anomaly, its value could go up dramatically. For example, a double die error or a misaligned strike on a 2005 California quarter can fetch a lot more than the usual 200 to 275 range. It's always a good idea to take a closer look at your coins to see if you've got something that stands out. Next up, the 1934 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition. We'll discuss what makes this coin special, what without mint mark means, the significance of its fine condition grading, and of course, its current value in today's market. Let's get started. The Lincoln wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, marking the first time a real person appeared on a U.S. coin. Its iconic design features Lincoln's profile on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. The 1934 penny without mint mark was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the oldest and most prolific U.S. mint facility. Unlike the Denver or San Francisco mints, Philadelphia pennies from this era typically don't carry a mint mark, making it easy to identify their origin. Now, what does fine condition mean in coin grading terms? A coin graded as fine shows moderate to considerable wear, but retains the major details. For the 1934 penny, this means you'll still see Lincoln's facial features and hair outline, as well as the wheat stalks on the reverse, although some finer details may be worn away. Fine condition coins strike a balance. They have been circulated, but are still well preserved enough to be attractive to collectors, especially for coins as old as this one. So, what is the value of the 1934 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition? Today, these coins generally sell between 50 cents and $3. The exact value depends on the coin's overall eye appeal, wear pattern, and the current collector demand. For context, coins in lower grades like good might be worth around 20 to 50 cents, while those in very fine or extremely fine condition can fetch anywhere from $3 to $10. Uncirculated specimens are rare and highly valued by collectors. The 1930s were a challenging decade due to the Great Depression, but coins like the 1934 Lincoln wheat penny remind us of the resilience of American history. The Philadelphia Mint continued to produce millions of pennies, ensuring the circulation of everyday currency. If you're fortunate enough to own a 1934 wheat penny, it's important to preserve its condition. Avoid harsh cleaning, keep your coins in protective holders, and store them in a dry, stable environment to maintain their value. Next up, the 2011 Chickasaw National Recreation Area Quarter. If you're wondering how much it's worth in today's market, especially with the P mint mark and in circulated condition, stick around because I'm going to break it all down for you. Part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the 2011 Chickasaw Quarter was released to honor the Chickasaw National Recreation Area in Oklahoma. It's the 14th coin in this series, and it represents the preservation of one of America's most beautiful natural areas. But how much is this coin worth today, and what makes a coin in circulated condition valuable? Let's dive into the details. So, what makes the 2011 Chickasaw Quarter special? First off, the Chickasaw National Recreation Area, located in south-central Oklahoma, is a stunning park known for its hot springs, diverse wildlife, and historical significance to the Chickasaw Nation. This coin was issued as part of the America the Beautiful Quarter series, which honors national parks, monuments, and historic sites across the United States. Now, let's talk about what it means when a coin is in circulated condition. A circulated coin is one that has been used in regular transactions, meaning it's been handled, spent, and probably worn down a little over time. For the 2011 Chickasaw quarter in circulated condition, you'll likely see signs of wear, such as minor scratches, fading, or slightly rounded edges. But the main features of the coin, like the design and date, should still be visible. These coins are not pristine like those kept in protective cases, but they're still perfectly collectible. Many collectors enjoy finding circulated examples because it shows how these coins have been part of everyday life, even if they've been slightly worn down in the process. On average, a 2011 Chickasaw quarter with a P mint mark in circulated condition will range in value from around 50 cents to $1.50. This is because it was minted in relatively large quantities, and while it's part of the popular America the Beautiful series, circulated coins are generally not worth a huge premium unless they're in exceptional condition or have some other distinguishing feature. But don't be discouraged. The value is still higher than face value because it's part of a commemorative series, and these coins are sought after by collectors who are trying to complete the full set of the America the Beautiful quarters. Value doesn't just come from whether the coin is circulated or not. It's also about how much wear the coin has endured. If your 2011 Chickasaw quarter is lightly circulated, meaning there's minimal wear and the design elements are still quite clear, it could be worth closer to the higher end of the $650 range. On the flip side, if your 2011 Chickasaw quarter is heavily circulated, meaning there's significant wear and the design elements are somewhat worn, it could be worth closer to the lower end of the $650 range. Quarter is heavily worn, with fading details and noticeable scratches. It will be valued closer to the lower end of the spectrum, possibly only around $760. Keep in mind, a coin in better condition will always fetch a higher price. For instance, if you've got a coin that's still fairly clean, with its details well-defined but has just a bit of wear, it could be more attractive to collectors. This is why condition matters. Now, while a 2011 Chickasaw quarter in circulated condition may not seem all that rare, demand can still affect its value. For example, certain years or mint marks can have a higher collector demand than others, especially as collectors look to complete their America the Beautiful quarters collections. Additionally, if the coin has a special feature like a minting error, or if it's been part of a specific set, its value could increase. But for the most part, this quarter is going to be a more affordable piece for collectors looking to fill in their series. One question I get asked a lot is whether or not you should clean your circulated coin to make it look nicer. My advice is don't. Cleaning can damage the coin, reduce its value, and even take away some of its character. If you've got a circulated coin, it's best to leave it as it is, even if it's got a little dirt or tarnish. Coins with a natural patina are often more valuable than those that have been improperly cleaned. Next up, the 1942 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition. We'll dive into its history, explain what without mint mark means, discuss the significance of its very fine grading, and reveal its value in today's market. Let's get started. The Lincoln Wheat penny has been a beloved American coin since its introduction in 1909. Created to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. The wheat stalks on the reverse symbolize prosperity and growth, making it an iconic design that collectors love. The 1942 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally didn't add mint marks to its coins during this era. This means the coin you're seeing was struck in Philadelphia, the nation's oldest mint. Now, what does very fine mean when it comes to coin grading? A very fine coin shows moderate wear on its highest points, but much of the design detail remains clear and sharp. For the 1942 penny, this means you'll still see distinct lines in Lincoln's hair and beard, as well as strong detail in the wheat stalks on the reverse. Coins graded very fine strike a great balance between wear and detail, making them highly desirable for collectors who want well-preserved coins without paying a premium for uncirculated examples. So how much is a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark worth in very fine condition? On today's market, these coins generally range between $1.50 and $5. Factors such as luster eye appeal and exact wear pattern can influence the price. For context, pennies in fine condition may be worth around 75 cents to $2, while those in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can command prices well above $10. The early 1940s were a pivotal time in American history, with the country deeply involved in World War II. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pennies to support everyday commerce, and these coins offer a tangible link to that era. If you own a 1942 wheat penny, or any coin from this era, preserving its condition is key. Avoid cleaning coins aggressively, store them in protective holders, and keep them in a stable, dry environment. Next up, the 2016 Harpers Ferry National Historical Park Quarter. This one's got a D mint mark, and we're going to find out how much it's worth in today's market in circulated condition. You might be surprised at its value released in 2016 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. The Harpers Ferry Quarter was issued to honor the Harpers Ferry National Historical Park. Located in West Virginia, Harpers Ferry is known for its historical significance during the Civil War and its role in American history. When we say a coin is in circulated condition, it means that the coin has been used in everyday transactions. It's no longer in pristine, uncirculated condition, which means it's likely to show signs of wear and tear. These signs might include light scratches, faded details, and a general rounding of the coin's edges. For the 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter in circulated condition, the design details will still be visible, but they may not be as crisp as a brand new coin. However, it's important to note that coins in circulated condition are still collectible and hold some value, especially if they're part of a limited series like the America the Beautiful Quarters. For a typical 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter in circulated condition, you're looking at a value around 50 cents to $1.50. This is pretty typical for circulated coins that are part of the America the Beautiful series. The value is higher than face value, but not by a huge amount, mainly because the mintage was relatively high and the coin was widely distributed. Now, the value can vary based on factors like how much wear the coin has and how sought after it is by collectors. Coins in better condition where the design is still fairly sharp could fetch closer to $400, whereas heavily worn examples might only be worth around $500. Even in circulated condition, some factors can affect the value of the 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter. The condition is key here. If the coin has significant scratches, fading, or damage, it will generally be worth less. On the other hand, if it's just lightly worn, with all major details still visible, you'll likely be looking at the higher end of the $100 to $350 range. It's also important to note that coins with lower mintage figures or special errors can sometimes be worth more. But the 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter, in particular, doesn't have any known major varieties or errors that would drastically increase its value. So, is the 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter rare? Well, no, not exactly. While it's a cool part of the America the Beautiful series, the mintage was pretty high, meaning these coins aren't exactly rare or hard to find. That said, demand can still make a difference. Collectors who are working to complete the entire set of America the Beautiful Quarters might still be looking for a coin in any condition, including circulated ones. So, while you may not make a ton of money off it, if you're a collector, it could still be a fun addition to your collection. Now, let's address one of the most common questions. Should you clean your coin if it's looking a bit dirty or tarnished? The answer is no. Cleaning a coin can scratch its surface, damage the design, and reduce its value. Even if your 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter is a bit worn, it's best to leave it as is. So, now that you know the value, what should you do with your 2016 Harpers Ferry Quarter in circulated condition? If you're a collector, it might be worth holding onto for your America the Beautiful Quarter set. Even if it's not worth a fortune, it's still part of a historical series that can be fun to complete. However, if you're just looking to sell, you could try offering it to a local coin dealer or listing it on auction sites like eBay. But keep in mind, the value isn't huge for circulated coins like this, so don't expect to make a lot of money from it. And there you have it, the 2016 Harpers. Fairy quarter with the D mint mark in circulated condition is worth somewhere between $450 and $650, depending on its wear. It's not a high-value coin, but it's still a cool part of the America the Beautiful Quarters series, and it has historical significance. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you found any interesting coins in your collection. Don't forget to subscribe for more coin content, and I'll see you next time. Happy collecting!